What's the perfect recipe for a dream life in the sun? First, add 300 days of guaranteed sunshine, a splash of crystal blue sea, and a dash of soft sandy beach.
It's a paradise. I mean, we've got one of the best beaches in Europe.
You wouldn't go on holiday anywhere else?
Chuck in millions of British tourists looking for a good time.
It's just crazy in Benidorm, basically.
Awesome! Woo!
And you've got the perfect place to set up business. But like any good recipe, you need to put in the elbow grease.
You have to be real competitive, because otherwise they go somewhere else.
But with a bit of luck and plenty of hard work, you can make your cash from the bargain-loving Brits in the sun. On tonight's show, bar owners gamble on a new money spinner.
It's shut from the 25th to the 29th.
So now what?
So now we're back to square one.
Drag act Dusty Crack puts all his eggs into one outfit.
It will look Amy Winehouse, but slutty.
And Benidorm's hardest working Del Boy has had enough of it.
I come out here to work like a 12-hour day.
Benidorm is home to over 3,000 businesses owned and run by expat Brits, often catering for other Brits.
It's like Blackpool, but with the sun.
If it wasn't for the British, it'd probably be shut.
There are restaurants,
2 glasses of red.
mobility scooter rentals, stag party organisers and estate agents. They all live the dream in Benidorm, but at a cost.
You have to make it happen, so you have to put all this work in 24/7.
If you're not here in 5 minutes, we'll cancel the table and give it away.
I won't come to Benidorm now and start up, because now it's too hard.
The most common dream business is the good old-fashioned British pub, but it's the hardest game of the lot, something Paul and Jackie from West Yorkshire didn't realise at first when they sold up and moved out here 8 years ago.
I can remember the day we opened and thinking...
What have we done?
Yeah, what are we doing now? We're going to get used to this. And all of a sudden, we've been here 7 years.
Well, I'd never even pulled a pint before in my life. I never wanted to work in a bar, so it was different. But now it's just
second
natural,
nature.
isn't it?
These two started the hard way. Instead of buying an existing bar like most people, they started from scratch in an empty unit.
7 years ago, when we moved on there, it was notorious that all the bars were €1 a pint.
And struggling.
It's a bit of a false economy, really, I think.
That's the difference
I would
now.
rather have 10 people in the bar buying 150 a pint than having 15 and making no money. At €1 a pint, it's just pointless.
But to make that risky gamble work, they've had to build a loyal group of year-round expat regulars.
We built up a clientele, if you like, in them 7 years. Because we didn't really want a holiday bar as such, did we?
Well, it's like a little family, isn't it? It's like the Waltons.
To keep them coming back, they need daily attractions.
2 fat people wobbling 88.
Like bingo nights and quiz nights.
10 out of 10.
All to keep them happy and spending.
If
You
they're
make
in
all
the
our
bar,
money over the bar.
that's how we make our money.
It's a way of life, and it's not a job. When we first took over the bar, we never got a day off, did we?
No.
And we used to do probably 100 hours a week each. Whereas now, we still do 60, 70 hours a week, which is still a lot.
And some days you go in and think, oh, I've had a great day, and other days we look at each other and go, is it home time?
And that's only when we've only been there 2 hours.
And home is a caravan on Camping Villamar, just next door to the bar.
This is the inside of the caravan.
Which we just use as a bedroom, basically, on office.
Office space.
It's like a little mini apartment, really. Washing machine, fridge, freezer. We don't use it a lot.
There's no time for living. They're always working on ideas to keep the bar busy, like one of their biggest earners, the fortnightly barbecue.
We sell tickets for €6, so they get a burger, a hot dog and chicken, and then hopefully behind the bar they just spend.
You hope. Another group of hard-working, dream life-chasing Brits are the entertainers, from singers to comedians to drag acts. They do everything they can to fight for their spot in the limelight. Just like hairdresser and female impersonator James Gibson, a.k.a. Dusty Crack.
Who is Dusty Crack? She's nothing like me at all. Everybody loves her. You know, I mean, Dusty's a big flirt. It's 2 different people. Totally different people, isn't it?
Very true.
Smile in action. And people say to me, oh, don't you feel bad sort of doing that? I say, no, it pays the bills.
James moved out here 6 years ago to live the Benidorm dream, working as a freelance hairdresser before finding his feet with Dusty. David moved out to be with him 4 years ago.
In this tiny little shack, we have
4 dogs, 3 cats, and a budgie.
And to be honest, he's the messiest out of the lot.
But their Benidorm dream has turned a little sour recently.
It is very difficult. Since the crisis, the wages have gone right down. People that are used to doing a show for 100 euros or 150 euros a night to suddenly go down to 30, 40 euros, something like that, it's a big kick in the pants.
In reality, you really have to have a second job out here.
Yeah.
James is doing the hairdressing during the day, then he'll do the shows at night. I'm very lucky being a chef, so there's always work available for chefs wherever you go. Take the work when you can, whenever you can.
Despite the low pay, they have a dream to swap their wooden shack for a proper house with a garden for their menagerie of pets.
We're saving for a new place. I want new things, nice things in the home. There's priorities in life.
But with an array of famous women to impersonate, it takes a lot of time to recoup the costs.
I mean, yes, we get paid 50 euros for the night. Then you've got your wear and tear on your outfits, makeup, tights, taxi home. So really, you don't come out with a lot of profit. But it all goes in the pot, doesn't it?
That's why James, his costumes and wigs, take the bus to every gig.
Over here, you only get out of life what you put into it. And so if you want something, you've got to work for it.
And one couple who've got bargain living down to a T are Camping Villamar's very own bargain hunters.
This is Pauline. I'm Eddie. We've been here about 7 years now. It's large, it's got plenty of swimming pools and that type of thing on, you know, and it's all free, all the pools and everything.
Eddie and Pauline from Middlesbrough live most of the year in Benidorm. Their pitch is directly opposite the bins at Villamar.
They're only, what, 20 foot away?
Which for many people would be a disaster, but for this resourceful pair, it's a gold mine.
It's surprising the stuff that does come. You get like these things here, people just throw stuff away. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Yeah, come on, no problem.
It's just a long line of unwanted acquisitions for Eddie and Pauline.
That bike was over there. All I've done is adjusted the brakes. There's nothing wrong with it, really.
We got 14 beach towels out of there one day. So
my favourite chair, this one was over there. So I've had to put someone on there because it goes so far back. When I get to sleep on this, like, you can hear me snoring.
With over 2,000 clubs and bars in Benidorm, competition for customers is fierce. And with bars going bust on a regular basis, you have to keep customers coming back or you'll go under. Bar owners Paul and Jackie put on weekly special events for their regulars. And today, they're preparing for their biggest earner, the fortnightly barbecue.
We sold 60 this time. 60 is fine. They paid €6 for a ticket. They might spend €10 on drink. They're going to have food, entertainment.
The most, €20.
And they're going to, the most are going to spend €20.
1,200 euros a day is huge for the bar, so they need everything to be perfect to keep the customers happy.
It says 100% chance of rain this afternoon.
Oh.
The one thing that's not in our control is the weather.
But it's not just the weather they need to worry about. They've hired a new singer, Aisha.
Aisha's never worked here before. Obviously, in my own mind, there's an element of doubt.
With the week's biggest takings at stake, it's fingers crossed time. But as the bar fills, the sun begins to shine.
Good afternoon, campers.
Which means only one thing, the till is ringing.
Yes. We'll all have a party today, yes?
Grubs up, 60 hungry stomachs spending €6 a pop descend on the buffet and barbecue. It's such an important money-maker that even their good friend Graham Happy Days Boland from Camping Villamar can't get in for free.
Got a gig, Sasha?
Unfortunately, sometimes we do get people who come without tickets and we have to eject them. Can you see your ticket?
I've just given it to Jackie or one of the bars. I think I should go with the one.
I don't think they did. You have to leave. Can you leave, please? Can you leave, please? Can you leave, please? Can you leave, please? Thank you. There's always one, and he's always it.
I've got 2 hot dogs, a burger, and I haven't paid a penny, so it's happy days, isn't it?
Happy days, eh? Time to find out from the regulars.
If they come to everyone, it's good, so good, you can't beat it.
They make you welcome and we'll have a really good laugh.
They always put a good spread on, and to be fair, it works hard for the customers.
They like the food, but will they like new singer Aisha?
Right then, folks, it's showtime. Please put your hands together and give a warm, Foley's Bar welcome to the wonderful Aisha.
Hello.
Well, they're up and dancing, and the till is ticking over, and with many more hours of boozing ahead, it's going to plan.
I hope that'll be quite a good day behind the bar. There's 60 people here, so there's no reason why it shouldn't be.
But tomorrow, it's back to square one. They need to find some new ideas to keep everyone happy and splash in the cash. Next door is Camping Villamar, home to most of this lot and thousands of other Brits living the Spanish sunshine dream.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Hello, how are you? No?
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
But not everyone is working 60 hours a week like Paul and Jackie. Londoners Kim and Craig came out to live the dream without the hard work.
Beats 9 to 5 in England, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I used to do it. I used to do routing years ago. Up at 5 o'clock into London, come back 5 o'clock, have a wash, tea, telly, bump bed. Don't really want to work that hard. Just try and get by. That's it, innit? Really, innit? I ain't come out here to work like a 12-hour day.
When they first arrived, they did a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Done bar work,
Yeah.
you've had burger stall.
Oh, yeah, you name it, I've done it my life. Always done a bit of buying and selling, and I bought a caravan. Someone offered me a price, I couldn't turn it down, and I said, oh, I'll put it on a plot for you, do it. We agreed a price, and I thought, well, there's a little market here.
I had a lovely one, it was really nice. And I said, we'll keep this one. And I went home. I was only home a week and a half, and he sold it.
But they're not selling this one. They love it.
It's not massive, but it's just, there's the kitchenette thing, all the settee, living area. I don't know what's in there. My dirty washing. And sold maybe 20 in the past few years. I still do, if some people do ask me, but I'm trying to slow down a bit. Take it easy.
To add to the caravan buying and selling, they've seen another nice little niche, caravan maintenance. Wonder where they got that idea.
As I was cleaning my own patio, then a neighbour asked, then another neighbour asked, and I said, look, I can't keep doing this. And they said, oh, we're willing to pay, and it just sort of escalated. Sometimes people don't come for 6 months, and their plots get overrun with weeds, so I'm there to keep it tidy.
There's just bits and pieces that you get on and do.
Yeah.
You know? I do some cleaning of people's caravans.
Yeah.
They leave me their keys so that when they come back out, the beds are changed. The more you get to know people and they know what you do, the more work you get.
They're trying to hit their target of €200 a week by doing just the right amount of working and living.
In the morning, cup of coffee, have a little chat to people, go and do your bits of work, have a little bit of lunch. In the afternoon, do another bit. It's not a bad life.
Swim.
Yeah. You're not pouncing up with no one, not hurting no one, and everyone's doing the same out here, just living a dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you like live a millionaire's lifestyle with nothing, really, you know what I mean? A bit like a lottery winner. I say we've been here 14 years, so I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? I ain't going out robbing banks either, so we're doing all right.
But all right isn't enough for James, a.k.a. Dusty Crack. He's working hard to save for a house. Tonight, he's dragged his dresses downtown to a regular gig, all for 35 quid, and it's not the most glamorous venue.
This is my little chamber where I get changed. I have all the best dressing rooms. I've got about 8 different costume changes tonight. You just hope, once you've got everything set up, that they don't want something out of the freezers, because they lift it all up and everything goes flying.
go, Dusty is born.
Not exactly the West End, and as well as 8 costume changes and 20 songs, she's even got to drum up her own business.
You can never tell. It only takes one stag group or hen party to come round the corner and the place is full.
It's not looking great, but the show must go on. Dusty has to quick change and perform as famous faces. Can you guess who it is? No, it's Cher. What about this one? No, wrong again. It's Liza Minnelli. Finally, a stag party arrives. The bar is filling up and Dusty's night has turned a profit.
There you go, 50 euros. All that just for 50 euros. But it's worth it. It's a job, and it pays the bills, so what more could you ask for, apart from a very large brandy?
Back at Camping Villamar, super scrimpers Eddie and Pauline have decided it's time to head home, but not before another quick trip to the bins.
A bit torn there, but you could just staple that back on. I'll stick that there. My dad died when we were a kid. And there was only my mum, and my mum had 3 jobs. When you're skint and when you come up and you're with nothing, and you've never had nothing, then you just tend to use your money wisely, and you tend to not waste anything, waste nothing.
Like other swallows, as they're known, Eddie and Pauline leave when Benidorm starts to bake.
Don't come in July and August because it's too hot
for me.
For Pauline, she doesn't know it, and she's had cancer. And she had the operation on her leg, so she hasn't to sit in the sun, what they call a melanoma.
Melanoma.
It might be better for Pauline in their cooler 2-bed semi in Middlesbrough, but they'll miss their foraged and fitted home comforts.
We come inside, come in. This is our kitchen. This unit here was put over there by somebody. This is our room for what we use in the winter. All like these, of course, you can lay back and get your head back and watch the telly in peace. This is our bedroom, and I can get cold by just laying on the bed, and I just switch my fan on with my foot, and I can watch the telly from here, and it's nice and cool.
Eddie loves his fans so much, he's made it a permanent fixture.
Just screw them to the floor, and it doesn't move. In the middle of the night, you don't even know, all you feel is a bit of a waft.
Pays to be handy. The spare room is even more fantastic.
When you're laid in bed, you're getting the fan coming backwards and forwards on top of you. And then here we have a corner bath. It's nice and comfortable. I do want to sleep in there. I do. I honestly do. I fall asleep and all I hear is voice shout, "Are you going to get out that bloody bath?"
Seems a shame to leave, especially when you're...
Definitely living the dream.
But for bar owners Paul and Jackie to live the dream, they have to continually cook up plans to keep their regulars happy and, more importantly, spending money. The latest is a trip to the winery.
If we fill the 16-seater bus, that's 16 people will be coming in for breakfast to start with, which is guaranteed 16 people, whereas can't guarantee how many people are coming for breakfast. And they'll all come back in after the trip. So it's good revenue for us.
But it's not just about profit margins and turnover.
When you see somebody every day, I suppose there has to be a turning point when they become from customers to friends, I suppose. And they're the first to put the names down for the barbecues, they're the first to put the names down for any functions that we have. They're the ones that'll be going on the trip. Yeah, I'll know by end of week how many.
The plan. A busload of regulars go to a winery, then onto a bar and restaurant. The idea, get them back for a few drinks after and get some good PR, but at the lowest cost.
So obviously the 24-seaters at 250 is quite reasonable, but then to drop down to 15 seats, it's still the same price, more or less, apart from 20 euros. That's great stuff. OK, thanks a lot, Alison. Cheers, bye now. So that's a result. So what I intend on doing is setting at 18 euros. I know that I've covered myself with the cost. If we happen to get another 4 or 5 people going, or even 7 or 8, which will be obviously a lot better because when we get the bigger bus, it'll work out a lot cheaper.
Price decided, Paul prints the flyers.
Hello, can I make a booking, please?
Aren't you forgetting something?
And it's for the 25th of June. It's shut from the 25th to the 29th.
Ah,
Nothing has to go wrong or he gets really upset. So now what?
So now we're back to square one.
We've got the bus. They can go to the bodega still. They can come in here for the breakfast. Just find another restaurant. It's not the end of the world, is it? No, it's not.
This is for the flyers.
So now I'm going to rip these up. I'll use these as scrap paper for the quiz anyway.
Quick ring round and another restaurant is eventually found. A full coach could make them around 80 quid in breakfast alone. But will they sell enough to turn the trip into a money spinner? One man hoping to turn his money into a day away from camping Villamar is motorcycle technology consultant Eric Edwards from Chester. He spends his extended holidays on the campsite.
Great life out here on the motorbike. Always good weather.
Eric has a simple plan for the dream life. Save money on the basics, spend the rest on the good stuff.
Well, while you're shopping over in Spain, you can certainly spend a lot less money and get exactly the same amount of stock you'd buy for England. Even though it's a small shop, the price of the wine is incredibly low. A bottle of white wine here for about £1, so it's not bad going. You know, you've got to go to Spain and just do what the Spanish people do and buy their products. It's better, it's nicer, it's fresher, and it's cheaper. Don't go to the English expat type of shop where it sells English products. You'll find things a lot cheaper this way.
We get it, no English stuff.
Well, we'll see what this one comes to now. That's €11.53. I would think you'd be paying more like £15 in English for that. So if you take the €11 down to the current exchange rate, we're talking about £15 in England, £9 here.
We got 53,
Thank you.
That leaves plenty of cash for the things that really matter.
I bought this one, it was ready-made. When I moved in, I moved everything out and put all the stuff that I want in. Tell you there, I've got 2 fridges and a freezer there, mini oven, a microwave there, a coffee making machine and a wine rack, of course. A very pleasant environment to be in. You wouldn't imagine anything like this when you go on caravan or camping. Down here, we've got an ensuite area, which is there, bathroom, shower, toilet, it's all in there. And of course another double bed here. Overall, it's an 8-berth caravan. It's one of the larger ones on the site. He's got everything, really. So it's a home from home.
And his ultimate luxury is his 2-wheeled freedom machine.
No, always get the best gear you can get if you're going to be riding motorbikes. I mean, the kangaroo skin's a very good type of leather. They're about £1,000. So it's a whole way of life for me, motorcycles.
Benidorm can be a tough place to live, especially for entertainers. It means if you're saving for a dream home like drag act James and his partner David, you need to keep a close eye on your cash.
Hello, we've got 6 lamb tarts, please.
I mean, we all like our steaks, but we also like the cheaper cuts too. This is lamb's head. This is lovely to do in a stew because you've got the juices from the bones, and then you've also got the meat from the head as well. I eat lots of meat. You can see now, look, you've got the brain and the actual cheek muscles. Lovely flavour.
Well, it's about 6 years we've just spent altogether.
Yes.
And we can probably get about between 4 and 5 days worth of meals out of those.
Happy days.
Shopping this way averages out at less than £1 each per meal.
I love a bargain. And it's tasty. Shush! You can't have any yet. You can have the bones later. Yes.
This is basically just to get the stock and all the meat off the bones. Let this boil down, let it all come away, let it cook, and then you start making a dish with the liver, the vegetables. But it just takes a little while, probably about another 3 hours.
Moment of truth. Lamb's head risotto, anyone?
Really good.
Shush, you're not having any.
It's really nice.
Too good for you. The meat from the lamb's head is just so tasty, but it's not fatty. My family are from Italy. We always have the cheap cuts of meat and brought up on pig's trotters, pig's hocks and all that sort of thing. Normally when we cook it, we have about 6 people round and there's still some left over for the next day. So, and everybody loves it until you tell them what it is.
She'll spit it out.
She won't, she'll eat anything, this dog. Oops.
Eating a lamb's head is not just good for your health, it's good for your wealth, it seems. But they're still a long way from saving enough for their new place. Back at Camping Villamar, the site's very own Del Boy, Craig, has been booked for a caravan awning and patio clean.
Irene's a loyal customer. She has it done once a month.
To keep up their millionaire lifestyle on a budget, they need just the right amount of work.
We'll get up on the roof now. €200. You don't need a fortune, but you can live like a king, do you know what I mean? Like a millionaire, isn't it, really? We're millionaires here, really, you know what I'm saying?
Not quite.
The job pays 20 quid. Not bad for less than an hour's work.
Health and safety comes into it.
Across the site, Kim has picked up an awning repair job.
It's just as people come back and they've been weathered a bit and the zipping's popped that they call me to go round and have a go. Probably take about 10 minutes, I suppose. It's not much. You just price it accordingly. For that amount there, for what that is, from there to there, about €10.
They now only need another 125 quid for their goal.
Yeah, you're never going to be a millionaire doing this, but as Del Boy says, this time next year I'll be a millionaire. I've been practising 30 years and I still ain't there. But never say never.
It's not going to happen, Craig. The million might be a mile off, but they know how to keep the money trickling in.
You've got to look for opportunities. I mean, if he's doing a jet wash and he notices the stitching missing, then I'm called in to do that. The same the other way round. When I go to do this, they ask when it can go and clean the van after it's all been stitched and ready to go. So it works quite well. That should be it.
Any more work might be a problem. It'd interfere with their life.
Time for a beer nearly. Another day in paradise for me. Now I'm going to go home, have a shower, go and have a Chinese, 3-course meal, bottle of wine, half a lager for £4.50. How bad's that? You couldn't do that in England, could you?
All right, stop showing off.
Someone else's junk is your treasure.
Back across town, and Dusty Crack's alter ego James is still on the economy drive. He's just landed a new gig impersonating Amy Winehouse.
You have to look convincing. If you can do that and people know actually who you are, then I think you've cracked half of it.
It could really help him and David save enough cash for their dream home, but only if the crowd loves him. For that, he needs to look just like her, but without breaking the bank.
Being a drag queen or female impersonator, it's not cheap at all. You've got so many things you've got to buy just to do the show.
You need boobs for that one, and mine aren't that big.
You know, makeup, tights, shoes. Shoes is a nightmare over here unless you can squeeze into a size 8. I mean, in the UK, you could get £200-300 for doing a spot, you know, and you only have to do one. Over here, you have to work every night, more or less, to get a steady income.
See, now that would make quite a nice Shirley Bassey dress. The cheaper you can design your outfits, the more money stays in your pocket. And, you know, you can then lower the price for your shows. For €5, that's a bargain.
You know, I'm not too cheap, but I'm not too expensive. €30 a night to 60, 80 euros a night.
This would be perfect for an Amy Winehouse type thing. Now, I know this is a swim costume, but if I used the bra part, I think it would look quite Amy Winehouse-ish. See you in a mo. There you go. For €6, got a whole new outfit. Amy Winehouse, eat your heart out.
Wow.
Back at Camping Villamar, and budget-busting bin divers Eddie and Pauline have decided it's time to go.
It's nice up to July, and then it just gets too hot.
At the moment, it's 33 degrees today.
I just sit here and I literally melt. And I think, oh, I just want to go home.
But they even save cash getting ready to leave. Despite Craig offering a cleaning service, Eddie's doing it himself.
He charges about €30. But when you've been working hard for your money all your life, you're not going to be really paying somebody else to do simple jobs like this. If you're doing it, say, 3 times a year, that's 90 euros, you know, it's all money.
And they know by packing up properly, they can save even more.
I'm going to get all of this lot taken down, all the chairs put away, and then put the curtains on the windows to protect it from the sun. The sun will rot anything and everything over here.
Yeah.
You can see on this cable here, look at that. That's been in the sun, so it's just rotten. Look at the colour of that.
If the colour fades, I'll have to make a new one next year.
Make or mend, it's another way to keep the costs down. And just before they leave...
we can have a last tip before we go.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to make the most of the facilities they paid for.
I found a penny.
You give it to a friend, and you get good luck all day long.
It might only be a drop in the ocean, but it all counts. And with their bags packed and weighed...
$9.97.
So they don't get any extra baggage fees. Eddie and Pauline are off. I'm surprised they haven't made their own sarnies. Eddie and Pauline will be back when the cooler weather returns in autumn. But one man who can stand the heat, mainly because of his air-conditioned kitchen, is biker Eric.
The older people here, they disappear off because they find it far too hot. Personally, I've got no problem with the heat. I find it's ideal. It's perfect for riding a motorbike, and I keep cool that way. But if you're sitting around and you're retired and you're not going out much, you're not swimming, you will find it too intense, the heat.
He loves to save cash where he can and keep cool on his trusty steed, so he's going to hit the road.
Cheap days out here. Well, you have a motorbike, you don't pay for parking anywhere. If I'm going down on a motorcycle to the beach, I'll just go for a swim all day. Probably have a tapas at the beach area. You're talking €5, which currently is coming out around £3.50. Ride back on a motorbike. And all of that is quite easy done. And it doesn't really cost you much at all.
But today, he's decided to head inland to a group of waterfall pools to the north of Benidorm. This idyllic place costs a few cents to enter, and it's paradise for pennies all day.
We're going to be in the waterfalls any minute. We'll be cooling down. It'll be excellent. Lovely weather all the time, happy people, very pretty place to be. Living it, loving it, liking it, every bit of it.
And this place combines Eric's 2 favourite things, top-of-the-line quality and bargain basement prices.
There you go. That's my favourite today, Langostino salad, €7, under a fiver. Lovely. Just today, up to now, between the parking, meal, petrol, and getting in here, €10. About £7.50 in English money. And it's a whole day. And it's still going.
And more Brits looking to head out of town are about to board the Foley Fun Bus for Paul and Jackie's trip to the winery. They've sold more tickets than expected.
Yeah, 22 people for breakfast. And they're all excited.
Tea or coffee or orange juice? Yeah, we're guaranteeing ourselves that we're going to do 20 breakfasts, 20 drinks. Well, it's nearly €100.
It's nice when somebody else makes the arrangements and you just get ready and go, that's fine.
Get on the bus, go. Spend the afternoon in a bar as well, that'll be nice.
Breakfast polished off, no washing up needed. It's time for everyone to get aboard the fun bus.
Please enjoy your trip. I'll see you when you all get back.
Oh, yeah. Off wine tasting. Don't even like wine.
The plan is to give their regulars a great day out, so they'll spend loads of cash in the bar on return. But with free samples and cheap plonk by the barrel load, things might not pan out that way.
Come on, love. Let me be seen helping you down the bus.
Once inside, the bargain-loving Brits are in their element.
They're all $1.20 a litre, and you bring your own water bottle like that, and you fill it 5 litres, and it's €10.
Oh yes, it's as cheap as water, but it tastes better.
I don't know how long it'll last, but we'll take 6 bottles and see how it goes.
But Jackie isn't sold on the whole wine bulk buying thing.
The thing is, people buy it, put it in the cupboard, and leave it, because none of them really stay in and drink, do you? They go out and drink, so...
Bit of reverse psychology there, but with a bar and a restaurant still to go, will anyone be standing to buy more drinks at Foley's later?
Cheers!
Back at Camping Al Mafra, drag act Dusty Crack, a.k.a. James, is doing everything he can to save for a permanent home with his partner. He has a new gig performing as Amy Winehouse, but to make it a lucrative repeat booking, he needs to look convincing.
It will look Amy Winehouse, but slutty. Essentially, we're saving for the house, but you have to look the part when you're on stage. If I can reuse wigs and things like that, which saves money, then bonus. Here goes nothing.
He needs a black wig, so it's time to get the Joke Shop black hairspray on it. It's a risky move, as this wig is worth a few £100.
You know, there's no point doing it if it's going to look crap on stage, because, you know, people are still looking for the glitz, the glamour, and for you to look like the person you're trying to be. So hopefully this seems to be working.
The dogs don't seem so sure.
The only thing is if, when you're sweating on stage, you don't get a black face.
So far, so good. And instead of a new wig costing hundreds, this has cost...
Just buying 4 cans at 150 is a lot cheaper than going out and buying a 70, 80 euro wig, especially if you can wash it out and reuse it. I don't think that's too bad. It's got a bit more blonde there, but... And we're out of black dye, so... But there's going to be a scarf around that bit, so I'm not really bothered, but the front bit looks okay. She had a bit of grey, didn't she? So, well, she has now.
So now, the moment of truth.
Hi, guys. Amy's here. I'm quite pleased with the outfit. It's quite amazing for, what, less than 10 euros. So, there you go. What can I say? Money in my pocket. Ka-ching.
James is happy, but will the punters tonight be just as convinced? If so, it could mean the dream house is much closer. Back on Paul and Jackie's fun bus outing, the plan to give the customers a memorable day out is on course.
Happy way.
The PR offensive is working. A happy bunch of customers means repeat business.
I think it's going very well. I think everyone's enjoying themselves. It's good for the business, because I know we're all going to go back. But it's also nice to be out of that environment and be somewhere else.
And after the meal, it's back on the bus. The excitement seems to be getting to some more than others.
I don't think the driver was too happy, like I say, anyway, sat down now. We're going home.
But more importantly, will they have enough room for more drinks?
Back to Foley's.
No contest.
More beer.
31 lemonade. Are we having a drink at Foley's?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Praise the Lord.
30 minutes later, and the group head into the bar for a couple more. It all adds up, and that means Paul and Jackie's 7-year adventure can continue.
How did it go?
Ah, good. Had a really good day.
I see it as customer relations, looking after the customers. They're grateful for it, they're thankful for it. And at the end of the day, these
They're our
people,
business.
they're our bread and butter. They're coming here 5, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, some of them.
They're coming 8 if they're 8 days.
Yeah, they're coming 8 days if they're 8.
Keeps them interested, and it makes the money throughout the year, because there are things like that for them to do.
It's like building foundations, I suppose. You know, it's for the future, if you like.
But they can't rest on their laurels. They need to keep them coming back every day. So it's quiz night tomorrow, bingo the day after, then the dominoes. At the White Star Bar, Dusty Crack is getting ready for the big Amy Winehouse debut show.
It's always really nerve-wracking when you're doing an artist for the first time, because you've got
what you want to do in your head, but actually when you go out on stage, depending on the audience, things go totally different.
A regular gig like this will be a massive step to saving for a house, but only if the audience like him and his bargain outfit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had Cher, Liza Minnelli, Tina Turner, and now Amy Winehouse.
Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the lovely Dusty Crack.
There's a full house. Will he be a hit? It's a positive reaction, but is it a lucrative new booking?
I think it went really, really well. I was really pleased with it myself. It was definitely worth the cost. Everyone had a good laugh. The atmosphere was amazing, and she'll definitely be back. I've got some gigs in Benidorm and around Benidorm, so Amy Winehouse will be out and about with Miss Dusty Crack and a few other well-known celebrities.
Benidorm is a quiet, tranquil fishing village tucked away on the Costa Blanca on the east coast of Spain. Well, it was in the 1960s. It ain't anymore. Today, well over 1 million of us head here every year for our summer holes, and many decide to stick around, dodging the grey and cold of the UK for a new life in the sun. Hola! But what does it take to be a Benidorm budget expat?
It's cheaper to wash your car in wine than it is in bottled water over here.
From work to love and scrimping to living, this is the guide on how to be a bargain-loving Brit in the sun. Coming up, the lowdown on low-cost living.
3-course meal, bottle of wine, half a lager for £4.50. How bad's that?
Cheapest chips away days to where the big boys play.
Is that Abramovich? Is that one? Mr. Moneybags, who owns Chelsea. That's his boat there.
And the bargain boozer with the cheapest drinks in town.
€1 a pint? It's expensive.
Balmy summer sun and balmy low prices have enticed more than 30,000 Brits to bin Britain and bunk down in Benidorm permanently, hoping for a cut-price life in the sun.
Gosh, it's a hot day, isn't it? Phew, it's all right for them holidaymakers sitting doing nothing.
Priority number one when you've arrived, get a roof over your head, and the accommodation of choice for any bargain-loving Brit is the caravan.
You're not buying a caravan, you're buying a dream.
If you want to start a new life in Benidorm, but you don't have many pennies in the purse, then a caravan could be a perfect sunshine starter home.
And you can hold the shower and you can shower yourself down. Then you just put that back in there and it becomes a sink again.
As you can see, it's only a small kitchen, but that's all you need.
Singer Eddie Robinson's come to Benidorm hoping to crack it as a performer. But with only enough money to last him a month, a campsite has provided the perfect Costa Blanca crash pad.
Spent a couple of days here and I ended up buying a caravan for €500. Key for the caravan, very small one for a very big dream. I've never had a caravan before, so it's all a bit of an adventure.
There are 10 campsites in town and lots of happy campers.
Living on a campsite, you'll meet loads of different people, loads of different characters. Everyone knows everyone else and you just all mix in together.
When you found your caravan, you also need to show out for your pitch. At Camping Benidorm, Essex lad Dean lives and works at the site.
Welcome to Camping Benidorm, the friendliest campsite in Benidorm. Your wages is not the best, but it's cheaper living. Plus, you got the sun, you ain't got to pay for that, it costs nothing.
Dean is proud of his budget bachelor pad.
I'll pay about 310 and then electric, which starts about €30. That's cheap living. It is a glorified tent, it is all tent-like, but it's how you make home, you know what I mean? Getting in the bedroom here, oh, this caravan's seen some action. If the van's rocking, don't come knocking, you know what I mean?
Moving on. Another couple very comfortable with caravan life are Jill and Maria Ryan, who moved to Benidorm 3 years ago after selling their pub in Wigan. Their top tip for new arrivals: manage your expectations, count your blessings and stay positive.
Come along to our little humble abode. This is the original eBay caravan, £800. Now, you see, I would call this a tent with clothes.
And I call it the walk-in wardrobe.
It's a very simple life, but we simply love it.
Yeah, we do.
For me, right here, right now, This is living a dream.
But when the Benidorm dream turns sour, caravans are often ditched at a moment's notice, as parking boss John Anderson sees all too often.
Well, the smell hits you straight away. Damn me. Oh, God. I think something died in here. You know, I'm a bit of a tramp, but I do actually go to the toilet instead of bottles down the back there. Would you want to sleep in there? Look at it. It's like the Mary Celeste could have just gone and left everything. This caravan is basically scrap. People come over here and they think it's they're buying their dreams, but this is a prime example of when it's gone wrong.
The best way of keeping the Spanish dream alive is to try and live cheaply until you find your feet.
You come out here, and if you've got a little bit of money and not a fortune, life's just a breeze.
You could live a millionaire's lifestyle with nothing, really, you know what I mean?
Our expats have lots of clever cost-cutting ideas. Here are some of them. First up, free stuff. Want free water? Take a trip to the hills. Scouse singer Eddie fills up his fridge for free.
Fresh spring mountain water. I mean, it probably costs a couple of euros in petrol. But if you take 5 bottles with you and you get like 40 litres of it, I don't know how much 40 litres it costs in the shops.
Just make sure you avoid the toll roads.
Oh no, that kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Brush up on your Spanish for when you get lost.
Hola, looking for the water spring. Aqua, I think it's up here.
But just don't expect a great view.
I was expecting it, you know, to be kind of on the mountain with a stream of water coming down over the rocks, but just a little pipe coming out the wall.
Well, it is free, sort of.
We'll have to be wary of that toll road next time we come up here.
If it's an alcoholic tipple you're after, there's always happy hour, which at Camping Villamar kicks off at 5 p.m. every day.
The rats, as I call them, start coming in. Some of them will wait outside at 5 to. Pretend they're talking to somebody on a mobile phone, and then they enter the building smack on 5 o'clock.
If I leave my caravan at 2 minutes to 5, I'm here at 5 o'clock on the dot.
They're all living on a budget, that's what it is.
It's euro a pint. You reckon you get a pint for €1?
€1 a pint? It's expensive. Relating to exchange rates at the moment, it's probably working out at about 75 pence a pint.
The beer might be just 40 cents cheaper in happy hour, but as the saying goes, when you watch the pennies, the pounds look after themselves. And it also helps to be good at maths. That way you can work out the savings, making the beer taste even better.
So you're 40 cents and there's 2 of us, that's 80 cents, and we have maybe half a dozen bottles, so that's 4.80. So use that, that's 35 euros, so that's 1,750 euros a year.
Food can offer up tasty savings too. Drag artist Dusty Crack and his partner David have some awful ideas when it comes to cheap dinners.
This is lamb's head. This is lovely to do in a stew. Lovely flavour.
Well, it's about 6 years we've just spent all together.
Yes.
And we can probably get about between 4 and 5 days worth of meals out of those.
Happy days.
That's the cheap eats in sorted, but there are cheap eats out too.
The cheapest English breakfast is €3 for a full English breakfast and a pint.
Go and have a Chinese, 3-course meal, bottle of wine, half a lager for £4.50. How bad's that? You couldn't do that in England, could you?
And bar owner Tad has a simple approach to saving a few quid. Just ask to pay less.
Me being a little bit cheeky, I'm always into seat manager for a bit of discount. Discounts 16%. That's what you've got to do when you're in this business. Proud to be a Yorkshireman, and I always get it cheaper, always.
When you've made a move to the Costas, it's time to start earning a crust.
Whoa!
And the expat motto is...
I work hard. I work hard and I play hard.
And anything you do in Spain, if you work hard, you're going to make money.
Forget Silicon Valley, this is the land of the British entrepreneur. When it comes to taking a gamble and rolling the dice, few can equal Yorkshire lass Vicky Caton. She came to Benidorm on a whim 11 years ago and bought Hepburn's hair salon 1 year later, also completely on a whim.
I didn't know anything whatsoever about hairdressing. I just did it in a moment's madness, maybe. It was crazy, really. Absolutely ridiculous.
Having one successful business is usually enough for most here, but that's not the case with human energy ball Vicky. She's expanding the brand and moving from haircuts to hot tubs with a 5-year lease on a luxury spa.
I went from not knowing it existed to buying it in 10 days. A bit crazy.
3 months after opening, has Vicky's splurge on the spa paid off?
I had a big panic attack about 2 nights before we were due to open and worried, was it actually going to work? But it's picked up much quicker than I expected, so I'm feeling good. Very tired, but very happy.
Vicky's now bought 2 businesses on a whim, so are there any plans for a third?
You never say never, but I don't actually have any plans to do anything else. I plan to retire nicely from this in a couple of years' time. Well, 5, 10, 20, sometime.
Spotting a gap in the market and taking a punt can be a recipe for success, but often with a side order of stress. Curry House boss Raj Kauser has taken on a huge new site which he plans to turn into an Italian restaurant. But halfway through the summer, it's still a building site and Raj is fretting.
I'd already started paying the rents here. Every day I'm losing money. We're already in the middle of the summer. Once the summer is gone, it's gone. So every day is really important.
By hook or by crook, the restaurant is ready for opening day. Well, almost. And the customers pile in for pizza and pasta. 3 months on, Raj is confident he'll get a decent return on his investment.
This place had costed me over 200,000 euros. It's gonna take time to recover all this money, but this place is definitely gonna pay me back in future. I'm really looking forward to next year. It's gonna be a big year, big year.
To be an innovator like Raj, you must always be poised to jump on new trends and opportunities.
I never thought of opening a Chinese restaurant, for example. But you never know. Who knows future? Never say never, as you said.
Welsh-born Karen Robinson has seen a gap in the market that she wants to fill, quite literally. She runs a pie and pasty store that's proving a big hit with the Brits.
I think it works in Benidorm because it's home from home.
It's €5 then, please.
We're known as Benidorm's answer to Greg's.
Another business style is the all-hands-on-deck approach, as adopted by the Coben family. They've just sold their townhouse in Essex and bought the popular Showboat Cabaret Bar to embark on a real Benidorm adventure.
We are nervous. We are taking on a lot, we know that, but it's something we've always wanted.
Opening night gets a big turnout.
It's going really well.
We're now packed out in the cabaret bar. I'm smiling, I'm happy.
Their first summer season is over, so how's it been for the Cobens?
Yeah, I've got to say it has been tougher than I think we all expected. It's a big venue to get to grips with. I think you learn as you go along. But from a business point of view, I couldn't be happier. We're doing really well.
Karen's been impressed with Mick's aptitude for the pub game.
At first he'd come home and he had a few nights where he was like pulling his hair out, didn't know if he could do it, but now he just seems to have really settled in. Him and the girls have just, they've worked together as a team. I've been really proud of them.
And running a bar has made Mick much less of a man.
Yeah, I reckon I must have done about 3.5, 4 stone in weight. Yeah, I feel a lot better for it, and yeah, I feel a bit trimmer for it. It's not down to exercise, it's more down to running around, and yeah, you just never end, you're just always on the go.
He has lost a hell of a lot of weight. And he won't like me saying it, but because of his age, it won't do no harm losing that bit of weight, so yeah.
The Coben family are definitely sticking with Spain.
We plan to stay here for like evermore. We've got no intentions of going back to the UK. Like, we want to make it work out here, and us as a family, I think we're stronger than ever because we all want to fight and strive to make the Showboat a bigger, better business and to be a successful business in Benidorm.
Mick and Karen aren't the only married couple to move to Benidorm. Lots of people up sticks to come here and live the dream with their life partners.
We've been married now 61 years.
Come on, say what you always say.
If I'd have done a couple of murders, I'd have been free now.
Manchester lad Wayne Wright recently sold the Showboat to Mick and Karen so he could spend more time with his partner, Des.
Comes a time in your life where you think there is more to life than working.
Selling the business has definitely improved the couple's relationship.
More relaxed. I'm just too relaxed now, aren't I? Yeah. I don't know how I ever got time to do all them hours. It's kind of good because I've got loads of time to catch up with friends and family and, you know, phone calls and emails. I've never ever in my life had so much time to myself, and I just love it.
And Wayne's got a new project that's keeping him busy.
What Des doesn't know is I'm going to ask him to marry me next week. I've been emailing wedding venues and I've wrote guest lists and everything, and he has no idea whatsoever yet. You know, we've worked together, we're buying our first house together. We've already had puppies, doing it the wrong way around, you see. We had the babies first.
You don't have to move here with a partner. There's a single scene too. But if you want to meet someone, you have to be proactive about it. Like estate agent Amanda Penalva. She's always on the go.
Let me have a quick look.
Please do. They've walked in here and it's taken their breath away, so I'm thinking we could have a sale here.
But when it comes to her love life, offers are a bit thin on the ground.
I want to find love, but it's definitely a challenge because most people don't come to Benidorm to find love. If you were looking for a serious relationship, you wouldn't get on the coach and go to Scarborough. People are here for a good time. There is the odd person that wouldn't mind finding love, but it's like finding a thimble in a haystack.
Almost as hard as finding a needle, Amanda. She turns to her laptop in an effort to find love.
I've had an interesting time on online dating. I've had basically some complete wazzocks that I've come across. I've had guys that have been sending me their nether regions while I'm doing the ironing, which maybe isn't the most attractive thing in the world.
But she's clicked with a digital Don Juan.
His name's Luis. Looks very attractive in the photos, and I'm really excited, but a little bit fluttery for that first meet.
It's time for Amanda to meet her keyboard Casanova, and she's hoping passion will be on the menu.
I'm hoping for a first kiss today, maybe two.
You look amazing. How are you doing?
Very good, and you?
Yeah.
Amanda goes for a pretty standard opening line.
So have you been to Benidorm before?
And then she goes off-piste.
Have you ever had Yorkshire puddings?
The laptop lovebirds took into a carvery.
Traditionally on a Sunday, a British person will have this for their lunch.
I tell you the truth, I have my prejudice, but it's really, really good.
Before Amanda gets the dessert she was hoping for. So 3 months later, has Amanda found love with Luis?
I feel like I've just come off of Greece, really. It was summer loving, but now real life's caught up. Jose Luis is a tour guide, and he goes away for long periods of time. I can't make him Luis the postman that's going to come home to me every night at 5 o'clock. So if he's going to be away for 2 or 3 months at a time, that's not much of a relationship, really.
Poor Amanda. Hope she hasn't forgotten her login details for those dating sites.
I 100% think there's a Mr. Right out there. I just got to find him. I've definitely not given up on love, so I'm going to be out there in the future.
Back at Wayne and Des's villa, it's the day of the surprise proposal.
Of course, I've been right busy plotting this wedding, and he's still not got a clue, you know. It's like, I've booked the venue and everything.
Wayne's previously been married, but Des has never walked down the aisle before.
Stayed on my own for 5 years before I met Des. And then I met him outside a bar. He was asking me, he said, "Excuse me, mate, do you know where Lover's Pub is?" And we get talking, and that's it, 4 years ago. What if he says no? I hope you're getting me nervous now. A bit too late for that, isn't it?
As the evening arrives, it's time to get ready. But there's a snag, or rather a snap.
Oh, no. That's bloody typical, that, isn't it, when you're in a rush to stay match?
When it comes to romance, Wayne's not exactly a natural.
I think our first date when I came over here to Spain was to the crematorium. He says, "Get dressed up, I'm taking you out." We went to a funeral.
Time to go.
At a posh restaurant in town, the stage is set. But at the critical moment, suddenly Wayne starts to lose it.
I'm crying now. Because I've just bottled it now.
Flowers arrive, which is a welcome distraction.
Did you like them? I got them from the crematorium. We had our first day at the crematorium, so I'll go there and rob some flowers, right? I thought it'd be quite apt on the day. I'm going to say, will you marry me?
Yeah, of course.
Good, because I've already booked it.
Wow.
To us,
the future.
Stop it now. Right, come on, wife. Home. You got dogs to walk.
The wedding will take place back in the UK in a few weeks' time. But there's no time like the present for a bit of practice.
Here comes the bride. Now you have to walk like that.
Wayne's one of the best-known performers in Benidorm, but there's lots of competition. Entertainers are 10 a penny in the town, and keeping your act fresh is the key. But keeping up with the times can come at a price.
These ones I got for doing Amy Winehouse. I just got the number in and she bloody died on me, didn't she? I thought, how inconsiderate's that? I thought, oh, thanks, Amy. Bloody Michael Jackson did the same. And Whitney.
A talent for entertainment can be a great way to bring in the bucks in Benidorm, but it's often more slog and sweat than glitz and glamour. A typical gig earns about €60, so singers like Jill Ryan maximise their income by dashing around the town, performing at 2 or 3 venues a night.
It's all go, 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 see you in a bit. You quite often see other artists rushing between gigs. It's mental because you're running down the street to your next gig and you're just like, keep going.
Female impersonator Dusty Cragg has certainly cracked it when it comes to saving the pennies. He's on first-name terms with the second-hand shops.
The cheaper you can design your outfits, the more money stays in your pocket. For €5, that's a bargain.
Another Dusty tip, recycle wigs using spray paint.
Just buying 4 cans at £1.50 is a lot cheaper than going out and buying a €70–80 wig.
Got a gig to get to? A chauffeur-driven limo bargain Brit style. That's the number 10 bus to Benidorm Central. Luxury dressing room? Forget it.
This is my little chamber where I get changed.
Be prepared to drum up your own business.
It only takes one stag group or hen party to come round the corner and the place is full.
And when the show does go on, don't expect a big payout for your performance.
All that just for €50. But it's a job and it pays the bills. What more could you ask for? Apart from a very large brandy.
Before you get your name in lights, you need to get your foot in the door. And that means pounding the pavements. But don't expect to hit the big time straight away, as Scouse singer Eddie Robinson discovers.
Now, I've no openings for the cabaret at the moment. For July, August, September, we've got our acts sorted.
However, be prepared to grab every opportunity, even if it takes you by surprise.
Can you sing for us now?
Can I sing for you now?
Do you want karaoke?
What, right now?
Right now. Just down the road.
OK.
That's it.
Done, why not?
Say what you got.
OK. Slightly odd. I've never been asked to do an impromptu karaoke performance before, but, you know, whatever it takes.
The trial by karaoke ends with a thumbs up.
Thank you very much.
And more importantly, a booking.
Tell you what I've got this week.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Cheers, Jackie. Thanks a lot, love.
Thank you, darling.
Ta-ra.
But chasing a dream doesn't always have a happy ending. 58-year-old magician Barry Harvey has spent £900 to rent a room for 2 months in his quest for success.
This is it. It's not massive, but I'm on my own, so I don't need a massive space. It's a big risk moving out here. I mean, I'm 58 now. I'm stepping way out of my comfort zone here. So, quite literally, anything could happen in the next few weeks.
Like Eddie, Barry's put himself in the shop window.
It's going to be a red rose, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an unpaid audition, really. But as I'm totally unknown out here, I'm going to have to do a few of these to just kind of get my foot in the door.
Well, I found the 4 aces. That's a good trick.
Very good.
But unfortunately, Barry can't magic up any work offers, and he's forced into a disappearing act.
The initial plan was to give it 2 months, but things haven't worked out as well as I wanted. I've come to the end of the budget.
Barry dishes up another lesson for anyone with a dream of making it in Benidorm. Be persistent.
I've taken the decision to go back to England temporarily, and I stress it is temporarily. I have every intention of coming back out here. Generally in life, I'm an optimist, and I'm going to keep plugging away. I'll be back.
Welcome back to our guide on how to be a bargain-loving Brit in the sun. So what should you expect when you get to the Costa Blanca? And do you need to bring a phrase book when you come? Some expats have a very Rule Britannia ethos about life overseas. Take bar owner Tad, for example. He's been in Benny for more than 20 years, but still prefers A up to hola.
I don't speak Spanish at all. You don't need to in Benidorm. Benidorm's England.
I'd like to learn Spanish, but it's actually sitting and learning it that I couldn't be bothered with.
One cerveza, 1 beer, vino, blanco, white wine. So I've got the basics.
can say Sprite in Spanish, which is just basically the same, but with a Spanish accent. And I can say un momento.
Sí, cerveza, por favor.
Café con leche. No, that's not Spanish though, is it? Is that Spanish? Oh, I can say that as well.
That's Spanish.
No, that was Italian.
I was going to go do Spanish lessons, but there's no point because everybody speaks English.
¿Dónde es el lavabo? That means where is the sink? You always need to know where a sink is. Because everybody speaks English, we just don't have to bother.
But the Spanish do appreciate it when you make a bit of an effort. Entertainment's manager Graham, who has lived in Spain for 13 years, has a go, without much success.
I haven't got a new book. It's 8 to 11-year-olds. So I can get by, but I forget things very quick. Here we go. Lolly. Tienes hermanos.
¿Tienes?
Hermanos.
Tres.
Tres.
Tres hermanos.
Tres, sí.
Bueno,
Right.
uno muerto, Dad.
Ah.
Ahora dos.
Happy days.
At Camping Villamar, the residents have adopted some Spanish traditions. Any excuse to get the paella pan out.
This is the sangria I made earlier.
Right, this is the bloke's fridge. It's full of liquid refreshments, of course.
And the secret of perfect paella?
Plenty of beer. Get all your guests, plenty of beer, and then they'll come along and they say, by the Christ, that's lovely, that. Keep the moisture in the chef and none in the paella. Are we ready for this?
Can we have a round of applause, please, for Arthur?
Hairdresser boss Vicky Caton tries to bring a bit of Spain to her salon with a Spanish-themed day.
Today is going to be our Spanish day, so we're going to be giving everybody a little bit of tapa.
Some embrace the idea.
You don't just want egg and chips all the time, yeah? Of course you want to eat Spanish as well. I've already had an English breakfast this morning, so I'm doing both.
Others aren't so keen.
Just don't look very inviting, does it?
Come on, be brave.
But if you're terrified by tapas and petrified by paella, fear not. British tastes and traditions are well catered for in Benidorm, and for many expats, highlight of the week has to be the traditional Sunday roast.
You can't get away from the fact that we're British and we like Sunday dinner.
And Brits being Brits, it's all about the trimmings.
A few sprouts, carrots.
We have roast potatoes,
mashed turkey,
cabbage,
A couple of stuffing bowls.
peas.
And if it doesn't have Yorkshire puddings, it is not a Sunday roast.
At Camping Benidorm, Dean's Sunday roasts are legendary, and for him, it's all about the gravy.
If you don't have good gravy, it's a bad meal. And the art of it is having thick gravy. If it's thin, it's no good. Nice and thick. Right, most of it's done there. Oh, they do pile it up high. They love it, don't they?
He's famous for his gravy.
They love the gravy, that's why they come in.
Dean has to graft for his gravy and knows from experience that the pub game can be punishing.
A lot of people think they can come over here, live the dream, open up a bar, but they don't realise it is all work.
So if you're dreaming of owning a bar here, beware. With around 2,000 clubs and bars, the competition is fierce, and running a boozer in Benidorm can be a one-way ticket to Stress Central.
What am I going to do?
Running a bar is seriously hard work, and Castlefield lad Tad knows more than most. He owns 4 of them.
We now call this place Taddydome.
Anyone thinking running a Spanish boozer is a recipe for lazy days in the sun, take heed. For Tad, it's a 6-day week and 16-hour days with back-breaking shifts, but not much profit in the pocket.
You're never, ever going to be rich out here. And I've been working all my life.
But 4 bars isn't enough for our Tad, and he takes another punt on a rundown bar called the Queen Vic.
It's very old and tatty, but once I get my stamp on it, then it'll be a busy bar like the rest of them.
But be warned, doing up a bar can cost a pretty penny.
I reckon about 80,000 euros, maybe 90,000. The bar's such a mess, it's got to be ripped out and got done.
What happens next is a valuable lesson for would-be bar owners in how Spanish bureaucracy can bite you on the bum. 4 weeks after Tad closes the Queen Vic for a refurb, the authorities force work on the site to stop.
Because we've had this put here, that's why they've closed us down. I must be losing maybe 2,000 a day. I've got to get this bar open.
And a few weeks later, the latest addition to his bar empire is still unfinished and it's costing him dearly.
I should be opening tonight. This will be grand opening. As you can see, we're nowhere near.
Tad's girlfriend Olivia is going to manage the bar and she's frustrated.
Nothing's going on, and I like getting to work and get what everybody else has got, which is, if you can hear outside in the background, everyone's busy.
We haven't even got any power on. It's just maddening that this is height at summer and we should be making loads of money now.
The Queen Vic does eventually open, but just as the high season draws to a close. It may have lost a fortune in takings, but Olivia's just relieved to be trading and looking forward to the future.
As you can see, there's been a big development and changes within the bar. Now we're just waiting for the kitchen to actually open, hopefully this week, and then it's all systems go then with the food. So it's all go.
Another punter moving into the pints game is ducker and diver Dave Dennis. Dave has a young family to support, so he turns his hand to anything to make a buck.
It may make me €10, but €10 at the end of the day, that's food on the table.
But his up and down income is creating a huge strain.
You know, I don't know from one day to the next if I'm going to earn any money or not. It's getting to the point now where if I don't get something regular and secure, that, you know, I've got to look at sort of going back to the UK. Which is something I really don't want to do.
Dave's found a cheap bar on sale for 14,000 quid, but the truth is, you need one of two things to get into the Benidorm bar business: bucks in the bank or a backer. Dave's got little in the way of savings.
It's frustrating when you get the opportunities and you just haven't got any money to buy them.
So he's desperate for his mate Brian to lend him the money.
What are your initial thoughts? You reckon you want to go for it?
In the end, Dave doesn't need Brian's cash. He comes to an agreement with the current owner of the bar and sets to work refurbing the boozer.
There's so much that goes into a bar that you don't even realise. It's amazing how far the money doesn't go. I probably put £8 in this place in 6 weeks, and if you look around, you'll go, where? You know what I mean? Because you really can't see it.
In the blink of an eye, it's opening night.
Opening nights and all the rest of it, hit or miss, but it's always just that little bit where it gets started, you know what I mean? You have that butterflies in your stomach.
Happily for Dave, the punters pile in and pack out the bar.
Blown away, blown away. Couldn't have wanted more. Absolutely fantastic. If tonight's an indication of the future, then my son will be all right. So he'll get to continue living the dream in the sun.
Since then, Dave's had a great few first months with the bar. Takings have trebled, and now he's considering turning it into a Mexican-themed bar and restaurant for the new summer season. Sombreros out, everyone. Benidorm is foot to the floor, full throttle Costa Blanca craziness. So sometimes it's nice to hit the gas and head out of town. And our bargain-loving Brits have found clever ways of getting away from the Benidorm crowds without having to splash the cash. There are lots of hidden gems just a short hop from the high-rises. Expat Ben Rigby and his dad Mick are on a lads' fishing trip.
We're off on a road trip.
They head for Mascarat, 10 kilometres north of Benidorm.
This is where we're going to be fishing, right here on the rocks here.
Yo, let's get fishing.
A Benidorm breakfast. Kebab.
There's a pretty big fish in town already.
Is that Abramovich? Is that one? That's it. Moneybags who owns Chelsea. That's his boat there.
That is one boat, that.
All to have money, eh?
But a Russian oligarch's bank account isn't necessary for this trip.
A lot of people do come out for excursions. It costs them quite a bit of money. It costs us nothing. Just a few cans from the supermarket and a bit of bait. And that's it.
The boys might have their bait, but it doesn't guarantee a bite.
That's why we're not catching any fish. It's your fault.
Oh, it's all these bloody jet skis and boats, isn't it? Excuse me, will you tell them people to stop enjoying themselves?
Another cheapest chips destination? The stunning Algar Waterfalls, just 15 kilometres inland. It's a favourite budget day out for lecturer Eric Edwards, who cruises there on his motorbike. Entrance fee? Just €4.
Between the parking, meal, petrol, and getting in here, €10. About £7.50 in English money. And it's a whole day.
If you don't have your own wheels, there are other ways to see the sights. So-called blanket trips are free coach trips to the countryside run by companies in return for a sales pitch.
One of you lucky people get to get in bed with me.
And they're a particular favourite of super savers, Barry and Barbara.
We've been on the blanket trips loads of times. If you want to see somewhere that's not in Benidorm, it doesn't cost you anything.
Barry's tip for keeping the trip cost-free?
It's like an auction, you keep your hands in your pocket. Don't wave them around, otherwise you'll end up spending money.
Right, well, thank you very much, Barry. I ask you to go back to those extremely comfortable chairs over there.
Got me very close to buying this time, but not quite.
No, it was that grip I had on your hand that stopped you, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
no, yeah, something like that.
Many bar owners also run coach tours to the countryside. Paul and Jackie have organised a winery trip for their regulars.
Please enjoy your trip. I'll see you when you all get back.
Oh, yeah. Off wine tasting. Don't even like wine. Come on, love. Let me be seen helping you down the bus.
Once inside the bodega, our thrifty Brits are in their element, bagging bargains of the alcoholic variety.
They're all £1.20 a litre, and you bring your own water bottle like that, and you fill it. 5 litres, and it's €10.
Oh yes, it's as cheap as water, but it tastes better.
Cheers!
Welcome back to our guide to living a cut-price Costa Blanca lifestyle. When budgets are tight, it pays to watch the pennies. And here's a money-saving masterclass. Super scrimpers Catherine and Patricia are 60-year-old twins from Warrington. They bought a caravan together on Camping Villamar 12 months ago, and they've hardly spent a penny since. Here's how.
I have a diary and I write how much I've spent. In this week, all I spent was €1. I think when people have been here for a while, they say, right, we're living here now, we really need to tidy our belts, you know.
Or tighten them. Their favourite activity is patrolling the shower block, and one spot in particular offers rich pickings.
Patricia and I call it Walmart because you can go and you can pick up virtually anything for free. See, someone's put those on there, they're Walmart. Somebody doesn't want them, and they're not old. We got these from Walmart. These from Walmart. One person's trash is another person's treasure, and there's nothing like getting a buzz from something that's you really want to treasure, and somebody's throwing it out because it's their trash. So it's great, isn't it? Yeah. We love it.
Another pair of cash-conserving bin divers are Eddie and Pauline from Middlesbrough. Their unorthodox top tip: get a pitch by the bins.
They're only, 20 foot away?
For many people, that would be a disaster. But for this resourceful pair, it's a goldmine.
It's surprising the stuff that does come. You get like these things here, people just throw stuff away. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Yeah, come on, no problem.
This is just one of a long line of unwanted acquisitions for Eddie and Pauline.
Our bike was over there. All I've done is adjusted the brakes. There's nothing wrong with it, really.
We got 14 beach towels out of there one day.
My favourite chair, this one was over there. I've had to put something on there because it goes so far back. When I get to sleep on this, like, you can hear me snoring.
For these two, their view of the bin means only one thing. They're
definitely living the dream.
Fulfilling their dream are Benidorm showman Wayne and his partner Des. They've flown back to Manchester, Wayne's hometown, to get hitched. But they're acting like a married couple already.
He had 2 jobs to do for the wedding. Bring the English phone and the camera. He forgot the camera and he forgot the English phone.
Des' 17-year-old daughter Jodie has the best seat in the house.
If there is any person here who knows of any lawful impediment why these two people may not be joined together in marriage today, then you must declare it now.
I take you as my friend and lover, the father to Jodie, and my husband and the dogs. I promise to cherish and respect you, to care for and protect you, to comfort and encourage you, and to stay with you for all eternity.
Who wrote that shit?
Gives me the very greatest of pleasure to declare that you are now husband and husband.
It's been a turbulent year and the showboat's gone goodbye, but we're married. We've got a life, haven't we, which is the key thing now, isn't it?
Des and Wayne will soon be returning to the place they love.
Benidorm, after 20-odd years, I'm coming up to my 25th season. It's my life. Really looking forward to going back and celebrate with our friends there. It's happy days and here's to the future.
If our guide has given you the get up and go to bid adios to Britain and hola to Benidorm, then you should come prepared to do a lot of one thing in particular, laughing. Benidorm seems to give lots of expats a new lease of life.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to hit the floor? Are you ready to shake your body?
Our philosophy, when you get to our age, yesterday's gone, tomorrow you don't know whether it's going to come, you live for today.
82-year-old Grace Campbell is an outrageous octogenarian with the most infectious laugh in Benidorm.
I love cooking with wine. Sometimes I put it in the food. That's me when I was young. Would you have fancied me?
And she credits the Benidorm sun for her sunny disposition.
When I used to draw the curtains in the morning, rain again. Next morning, rain again. I got fed up with that. You come here, you're not even awake and the sun's shining.
Grace benefits greatly from being here, without a doubt. It wouldn't be the same for her in the UK. You know, she'd wither away. She is the life and soul of any party.
Grace has a simple recipe for happiness in life.
Always laugh and love. Don't get down. Or if you do, snap out of it.
She's a diamond. There's nothing else to be said about her. She's a lovely, lovely old lady.
There's only one way to describe Grace. She is amazing Grace.
A fitting way to round off our budget-conscious guide to Benidorm, where expat life doesn't cost the earth and where dull moments are few and far between.
Whoa! Now, come on, get out.
I love Benidorm!
Knock 'em dead.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista. Finding more efficiency.
Smile in action.
Because it looks nothing like me in real life.
Smile.
I'm going,
all unnecessary.
And that's it there. So the party's finished till next time. Happy days.